Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talkin with Tana shows. We broadcast live out of the purveyor of all things cowboy, Young's Western Wear, discountwesternwear.com here in the Heart City of Valentine, Nebraska. I want to thank today's sponsor, and that is Equipride. Equipride is a proud sponsor of the Talkin with Tana show, and also Tana Popino. For more information on them, you can go to equipride.biz. Also search them on Facebook and on YouTube. And we want to give a shout-out, and I hope I don't butcher the name, to Darlene Miner Gersello. She heard about Equipride from the Talkin with Tana show, so thanks, Darlene, for trying Equipride. Well, let's go to the phone, and with your three-time National Finals Rodeo qualifier, Tana Popino. How are you, Tana?
I'm good, Ken. Thanks.
Good. Well, sounds like you had, let's start off last week and get everybody up to date. You won a little bit more money, so get us up to date on last week.
Okay. Heather Wilson and I went over to Franklin, Tennessee, and ran in the slack Thursday morning. Then we drove back and swapped rigs 2 or 3 times, it felt like, and drove to Abbeville, Kansas, where we were just got to bed about midnight, had our horses put up, and about 3:30 the rain broke loose, and so we did the midnight shuffle and got soaking wet trying to pull up our pins and load our horses and drive over to a more soft, a harder spot. The parking is out in a pasture, and figured it was going to be pretty soft, so we had to pull up stakes and pull over on the road onto a graveled parking lot so we wouldn't get stuck. And we looked like a couple of drowned rats by the time we got it done. And of course, when just about the time we got parked, we unloaded the horses. It had quit raining. Then we got into bed, and of course, then it started raining again, and we just left the horses tied to the trailer since we, thought it was going to quit, but it rained from then till about 7 o'clock the next morning. So it was a lot of fun at Abbeville, but, we still made a decent run in the mud and got a little check, so it was good. Finished second, split second and third with Brittany at Franklin, and congratulations to Tammy Brusso for winning that. And then I hopped a plane and went to Colorado Springs for the WPRA for our first directors meeting with our new president, Jimmy Monroe.
Oh, cool. Well, tell us how did that all go, or anything new coming up this year with the WPRA?
It was good. We had half the board came up for a re-election, so we had a lot of new faces, a lot of good gals. They were trying to wrap their heads around, the business of the association, and that's a lot of what happens at that first meeting. We go over, the boring stuff, but like the confidentiality and the conflict, all the legal stuff, and then go through the operating budget and the numbers from last year. And looks like we're sitting really good as far as the operating budget for this year. We're kind of on a break-even keel. We can't get wild with spending, but of course, the way our numbers look, that we're moving ahead, that we're taking care of business like we need to be. So that's a good thing for a nonprofit. It was announced that they have gotten a couple of smaller sponsors to add money to the Omaha Pro Tour finale. The top 12 girls that get to go to Omaha, their entry fees will be paid by a sponsor. And we also have a $3,000 sponsor to begin to cover that money. To bring you up to speed on that, we don't have equal money at the Pro Tour finales for whatever reason. So the money that we ran out last year at Omaha and Puyallup was just the money that the committees put in, which is about $17,000, $18,000. The men run it close to $100,000 an event, and so it was decided by last year's board of directors that with the money that we finished the year with, that we would guarantee that we would at least match the money at Omaha. So the WPRA would put in $18,000. hoping that that we would find sponsors to cover that $18,000, which that's where this $3,000 is coming in. So the girls at Omaha will have their entry fees paid, and they will be running at least the 18,000 times 2, which is what, 32,000. So, and if we get another sponsor or something above that 18,000, that money will also go into the pot. And we're working very hard on that. Another update, we heard from Susie McConaughey and Robin Hoffman on our stallion program, the Pro Elite Stallion Incentive Fund. That's doing very well. That program helps. I should get Susie on here, somebody that can give us the rundown on that. But basically, it's a way for the studs and the breeders and the owners of the studs to make a little money, plus the owners of the horses that are enrolled in this program. Like if if the stud is nominated this program, the stud owner pays a fee, and then all of his progeny are eligible for this bonus money that we pay out through the program if they're enrolled.
Right.
And just for example, like Dinero, Sherry's great stud is part of this program, so any money that Stingray won at the finals was eligible, to put her in some bonus money from this program. So it's a great program to help track our great rodeo horses back to the good studs that are creating these horses, and to bring the owners and breeders, more notoriety and give them a little cash back also.
Well, cool.
So it's a great program. And we talked about the World Finals. They gave us an update, that committee did, on the World Finals, which will again be held in Lincoln. It'll be October 13th through 16th. And we are going to keep about the same format as we did last year, only we're going to add a performance on Saturday night. I can't give you exactly the rundown on that, but we'll come back with that later in the year. But it will again be at Lincoln, and one thing I'd like to do is one thing that we discussed very heatedly, and we're looking for the members to hear what their input is on whether money won at this finals should count toward qualification to the big rodeos, winter rodeos next year. So any of you guys listening, shoot me an email or a Facebook, probably, off a Tana Popino fan page. Let me know what you feel about that. We appreciate your input. We want to do what's best for the association, so let me know your feelings on that.
All right. Well, cool.
And I can go on, but most of it was just business stuff, so
Sure.
I know you have more questions or input, Ken.
Well, that's just, that's a good start. I mean, you got your first meeting under your belt. You got the new president got a meeting under. Now, these are all in effect now. These new officers are what? Is it a 2-year term?
Ken, I'm having a really hard time hearing you.
Is it a 2-year term on these new elections? Are you there?
I can just barely hear you.
Okay. Wow, I don't know if you got it back.
That's better.
Okay. It's a 2-year term, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I think that's a lot of information. We'll just wait to see how things come from there. Again, the World Finals is going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska, so we covered that. I want to jump in here real quick and thank Equipride. Equipride is a proud sponsor of the Talkin with Tana show. For more information on them, you can go to equipride.biz. Also, you can search them on Facebook, become a fan of Equipride, and also check out all the great YouTube videos out there, as well as we now, starting last week, the Talkin with Tana, the one that we've been doing on the live webcast, is also on the Equipride YouTube channel as well. You can also find it on DiscountWesternwear.com's YouTube channel. So getting the Tana show out there to more people each and every week. Well, Tana, yesterday I know you were stuck in down in Texas at Dallas, I think? Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday wasn't much fun. We spent most of the day at the airport and left Colorado Springs about 7:30 yesterday morning. And one of the guys that was sitting next to me on the plane was from Joplin, Missouri. And we were talking. He was showing me pictures that, you know, his friends and family were sending him. Luckily, his house didn't get hit, but they were about 3 blocks away. And, you know, of course, they're saying like over 2,000 homes just totally destroyed, and their high school's gone, their hospital's gone. It just, the tornado was on the ground a mile wide, and it stayed on the ground for 4 miles. And they're still pulling people out of the wreckage. It stormed all day yesterday, and so all of the flights back up this way to Tulsa and to Joplin were canceled. And so I ended up renting a car with these guys, and or I shouldn't say that. They let me catch a ride with them. They rented the car, and they worked for the PBR. PBR was putting on something in Pueblo. So, but anyway, what they're saying the biggest help could be is for people to send, you know, toiletry items, you know, toothpaste, shampoo, feminine products, you know, hand soap, lotion, deodorant, that kind of thing, to the Joplin area. They weren't for sure whether the FedEx and the UPS terminal was even still there. I don't know about the post office, so,
Sure.
You know, the Walmart, the top got ripped off of it, so then again, I realize this is not the only place in the world that's having tragedies, but we all need to, you know, prayers are nice, and we sure ask for people to pray for all of these people, but, you know, if you can round up some of those supplies and ship them towards Joplin, you know, or find an organization where you can bring a whole truckload, that's even better.
Sure.
Those guys were trying to get groups rounded up today to start looking through the wreckage again. The bad part is when it starts raining all day yesterday and there's nothing to catch the lightning. I'm not sure if this is correct, but they said that a couple of the rescuers had gotten hit by lightning yesterday because there's just, you know, nothing tall to attract the lightning, and so anybody moving around on the ground is kind of a target for lightning. So the rescue efforts are really being hampered, and it's supposed to start storming here again in a little bit. So
well,
it's not a good deal.
No, it's been kind of a rough spring for tornadoes all over the country, and I think probably one of the best ways. I don't know any direct contacts down there, but I would think that you could go through the Red Cross, and if you had anything to donate, and that they could get you directed to.
That's true. Family Worship Center. I'm sure. I'm sure we could find that on Facebook or on. I mean, you can get a hold of some of these people through Facebook too, and I'm sure some of these churches there.
Sure.
These guys were members of the Joplin Family Worship Center.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so...
Well, any of that information maybe that you can post on Talkin with Tana, and I can repost on Spur Radio's fan page. We'll see if we can't get something out there today and tomorrow to let people know, and we can go from there.
Part of the trouble is, like, I don't even know whether they got postal service right now in Joplin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't know where the post offices were located, and most of these people don't even have a home to receive anything, and so a lot of these churches are homeless shelters. At least right now, they're opening up their homes, you know, to their neighbors, because some of the other, you know, the hospital's gone. So they had even churches being set up for triage centers, and I think the death total was, you know, close to 120 yesterday, and, you know, there are a lot of people still missing. So.
Right. Well, definitely something you don't wish on anybody. That was a big storm, and there seems to be a lot of them this year.
Oh,
With this
man.
weather, it's just been unbelievable spring. So, well, I think the best thing we can do is, like you said, we'll try to get things posted on Tana's fan page and Spur Radio's fan pages for where we can get stuff sent to. I want to encourage everybody out there that's listening, and all your prayers can be not only for Joplin, but for all the devastation going on with flooding and tornadoes. Keep everybody in your prayers. That you'd be surprised. That's a big help right there. So, well, Tana, yeah, it's been quite an eventful couple weeks. One thing I really want to touch on, real quick here, have you heard any news or any updates as far as the herpes virus out there?
They're supposed to have a webinar tonight. Let me see. I'm not exactly sure. I was just looking at a minute ago. The webinar is tonight, 8 to 9 Eastern. So what would that be Central Time? 7 to 8?
Yeah.
It's by Intervet Shearing Plow, I guess is how you say that. One of the drug companies, apparently.
Okay.
Intervet, and then the second is SCHERING, and then Plow, PLOUGH. I'm sure it's been posted on. There's an article on Twitter. There's an article on Facebook. You can find out from there, but it is tonight for any and all horse owners that want to, listen to the information on that. So,
okay.
It's a serious deal anytime we have, a contagious disease floating around through the horse industry, and I just want to encourage people, if you don't have to go, don't go, but be careful, be smart, keep your horse tied to your trailer. Don't let them drink out after somebody else's horse. Try not to come in direct contact with other horses. Just kind of stay back away so it doesn't spread if you do choose to go. And everybody has to make the decision for themselves.
Right.
You can get the best information tonight on the webinar.
Okay. Well, great. Well, real quick, what are your upcoming events, or things are starting to pick up for you and getting pretty busy? It's summertime. Where are you headed this week?
I get to kind of stay around the house this week. Claremore's Rodeo's this week. I happen to be in the slack on Thursday morning at 10, and then I drew the slack the next morning at Tonganoxie, Kansas, which is just outside Kansas City, but on the Kansas side. So those are the two rodeos I'll be going to this weekend. I also have a local jackpot finals that are going on this weekend that looks like I'm going to get to go to at the Flying Cow in Grove. So
cool.
That's this week. Then next week it's packed full, so I'm just going to kind of catch up and be ready for next time.
All right. Well, Tana, as always, we thank you for calling us in today, and congratulations last week on your placing and winning some money. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, next Tuesday we'll actually be at Fort Smith. We run that morning at 8 o'clock, so should be able to work that in right in the middle of the day. So that'll be great. We'll have some current news for you.
All right.
So we will see you then.
Okay. Thanks, Tana.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, again, that was your three-time national finals rodeo qualifier, Tana Papineau. She joined us for the Talkin' with Tana show. Today's show is sponsored by Equipride. Equipride is a proud sponsor of Tana Papineau and the Talkin' with Tana show. For more information on them, you can go to equipride.biz. I want to encourage everybody to search them on Facebook and become a fan. And if you got any pictures of any of your horses or stuff out there on Equipride, you need to post them on the Facebook Equipride fan page, and maybe you will get the profile picture of the week or something up there. There's a pretty cute one up there now, so I want to make sure you all check that one out. Also check out all of their videos on YouTube as well. Well, I also want to thank the purveyor of all things cowboy, Young's Western Wear, discountwesternwear.com. We broadcast out of here every day for the Talkin' with Tana show. For all your Western needs, make sure you go to discountwesternwear.com. Well, that's going to wrap it up today for another edition of your Talkin' with Tana show right here on spurradio.com, America's favorite online country radio station.